Hi, can you hear me? Oh shit, I can't hear you. Oh, I still can't hear you. Nothing. And they had a problem with the select board meeting the other night, so I don't know what to do now. Oh, maybe he has to unmute. I, I don't.
I just did.
You heard about what else they see.
No, did they get bumped?
Rehearsing.
Actually Deirdre's managing it behind the scenes. So,
Yeah.
good evening, everybody. My name is John Lohr. I'm Chair of the Millis Finance Committee. I'd like to call tonight's meeting in order. Today is Wednesday, October 1st at 7 o'clock, 7:01 to be more precise. Before we get started, I'd actually like to acknowledge our new member, to my left, Mark Johnson. You give you a brief intro in a second, but why don't we go around, starting on my far left with Brett, and please introduce yourself.
Mark Johnson. Eric Parkinson.
John Lohr.
Peter Brew.
Joyce Boyardi. Jen Zernsky.
Thank you, everybody. So with that, Mark, why don't you, I know who you are, but why don't you introduce yourselves not only to the town, but to the committee here as well, and give us a little snapshot.
Sure. So my name is Mark Johnson.
And actually, sorry, I gotta say this in about 5 minutes, but you have to be 4 inches away from the mic.
Sorry. My name is Mark Johnson. I've lived in Millis for the last 6 years with my wife. We have 2 beautiful daughters and a third on the way for January. So we're very busy. I have experience in finance and accounting. I've worked for the last decade in the accounting field. And I currently work for a large renewable energy developer in Boston.
Great, well, welcome. We're pleased that you joined us, and just glad that you showed interest with the town and getting involved, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So with that said, let me do a few other housekeeping items real quick. So if residents would like to access information regarding the Finance Committee, they can watch it on their local access channel at home on Comcast Channel 6 or Verizon Channel 38, or they can go to millismedia.org, or they can see it on YouTube live streaming. And last, just like Select Board, School Committee, and other committees and boards, you can come in person and see us here live. So last, all the material that we cover tonight will be online on the Millis website under the Finance Committee webpage. So feel free and take a look at that. And just a reminder, like I just said, to speak 4 inches away from the microphone for all the guests as well as the members here. So with that said, couple more items. Mike Crone is out tonight, unfortunately. He had to cancel last second, and Heidi is out, and that is it. And Jody is pinch hitting for town administrator via Zoom tonight, so we'll wait to see her in a bit. Okay, getting on to the agenda, we will start off with, I believe, fire and rescue. Good evening.
Good evening, Chief Ed, Fire Department. I won't take up much of your time. Tonight over here, I have a capital request in for the replacement of multi-gas meters. We were awarded a state earmark back in, I believe, April. But it's been put on hold. The funds are kind of stalled out, and we're not been given any information to when we could see that. Problem is, these meters' end of life is December, so speaking with the town administrator, we thought it'd be a good idea. Request it through capital, and if the funds come through from the state, then we just forego this funding afterwards, and I think it goes back to the town.
Okay, so the meters have been, Mills has been approved for it?
Through the state earmark, yes.
Yes.
We were given the award letter.
Yeah.
We haven't been given the contract, and they haven't released it.
Gotcha. I just have a question right off the bat. Could you just clarify when I should say, when I don't know if others, but when we saw gas meters, I was thinking of meters on the side of a building, but these are handhelds, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, so again, we're coming into winter season where we have a big increase in carbon monoxide detectors going off in the homes. So our meters measure 5 different gases. Carbon monoxide is one, methane, propane, lower explosive limits on different kind of chemicals. So we're required to have them before we enter a home, make sure the home is safe for you to return to. So we've had these meters for going on 8 years. and they're coming to end of life, so we'd have to replace them. So we're moving on to a better technology meter. Right now we use 4 gas, this one's a 5 gas, and life expectancy is longer. Should get 10 years out of these new meters, that's the goal. These sensors can be replaced where the others couldn't, so it gives us a little bit more capabilities to do stuff. The other thing it comes with is we're required to have them calibrated every 30 days. And it's costly with the ones we have now, the chemicals that we have to use, they cost a lot of money. This is a much better system. It actually comes with a calibration kit. We put them in every 30 days, it calibrates, it uses less gas, testing gas. So it's just better for us, it's quicker, and more reliable.
Questions? Go ahead, Brett.
The capital project detail sheet does not indicate source of funds. Makes sense because we know we ideally have our source of funds from the state earmark. Should that fall through, source of funds is.
So that's where we rely on you to tell us the source of funds. I always thought that was interesting, because I don't determine where they come from. So usually, I think capital's usually through free cash.
Yeah, you just for free cash.
Okay.
Correct. And Mr. Kuzinski can verify that, and we go through this more, but yes.
And that's, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's implied if this passes. If it gets.
If this article passes, correct. Free cash, $30,000, $30,400, and
Thank you.
will go towards from free cash. to fund that.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
just to clarify, it won't be implied, it'll be specified.
Yeah,
It-
capital.
It'll have to say the funding source, we will vote on a funding source, and it's whatever the select board proposes.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Real quick, is Jody on?
Yes.
Jody, can you tell us what the free
Oh,
cash?
no, I'm sorry. Jody, are you on? She on, yeah. I don't see her, that's why I said no.
I'll ask her when she's on. I'm just
Yeah,
curious what
she's-
the actual balance is.
I think for free cash, they talk about you.
Yeah.
Seems like
74.
70,000.
And I don't know if that is an updated number.
I don't think it is.
No, I
No.
think that number is, any day now. I don't know when, if it's this week or next week though.
Just trying to put it in perspective.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah. Great question, Brett. Any other questions? No? I think we're good. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. All right, appreciate it. All right. Well, if there's anyone else in the audience, oh, Nicole. All right, moving on to next on the agenda list. I was just joking there. ADUs, Nicole Riley Planning Board.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Riley, the planning board. As most of you will recall, I was here 6 months ago as we were putting forward the ADU bylaw. Accessory dwelling unit bylaw, zoning bylaw, as per the requirements of the new Massachusetts state regulation. That bylaw was approved at town meeting and it was submitted to the Attorney General's office for approval. There were a few edits that the Attorney General is requiring that we make. Those are what's in front of you tonight and what we will be going through, we will be putting forth in November. Before I go over them, just to clarify, Town Council nor Planning Board created these edits. This is what the Attorney General's office has said we have to do to have this bylaw pass their scrutiny. If not, our bylaw doesn't exist. And anyone that wants to put in an accessory dwelling unit has the ability to do so, and the town will have absolutely no oversight to it.
Just a quick question before you start going through them. So was this from last town meeting? How come there's like 3 edits that are here? 3 updates, I should say?
Yes, so the last town meeting.
Yeah.
The town approved bylaw.
Correct.
It does not go into effect.
Yeah.
Until we get approval from the Attorney General's office.
Yeah.
The Attorney General gave us. They disapproved certain portions of it.
Okay.
So that gives us a chance to amend what they want us to amend, and then we'll get full approval. If we
Okay.
don't do that, we will have the entire bylaw that was passed will not exist. Because we cannot pass a bylaw without the Attorney General's.
Understood. Go ahead, Joyce.
Was it that the bylaws that we wrote were too strict?
Um,
I know that's a
Kind-
sticky
it's
word.
not that. I'm gonna be
Was
honest
it
with you.
verbiage?
It's verbiage. It's, most of it comes down to the difference between the phrase special permit and finding. A finding is an order that is given by the granting authority, which, is either the planning board, the zoning board of appeals, or in some instances in Millis, it's the select board. Whereas a special permit is a discretionary approval that is given by the granting to either allow a usage or a lot configuration, something to. The main difference between special permit in day-to-day use, a finding and a special permit are used
Interchangeably.
interchangeably. A special permit technically is discretionary. If you apply for a special permit to the planning board or the zoning board of appeals, we don't have to grant it to you. I mean, if you don't meet all of the criteria, so that's why it's considered discretionary. ADUs cannot be discretionary as long as they are placed within a residential zone. They are permitted by right under state statute.
So that's why.
So so you'll see on the first subset, on section B, dimensional requirements, subsection 2. There are 2 changes. The first is changed from ADU shall comply with any and all frontage setbacks height. We have to add it, so it says ADU shall comply with the most permissive of frontage setback type. That being that if there is more than one structure on the property, whichever one has the most permissive, whatever one is gonna give you the most options, that's the setback, the height, the frontage that that the ADU can follow. You can't force the ADU to follow the most strict rules that apply to that property. And then further in the section, you'll see it changes, from a single family home to principal residential structure. Because by stating it as applicable to a single family home, if there was a 2-family on the property, the Attorney General's office said that our implication is ADU would exist, even though the ADU in other parts of the bylaw says it is permissible in that zone. So that's, again, it's verbiage from the single family home to principal residential structure. In this subsection 3. That difference, Joyce, that we just raised is here. It used to say that a conversion of a pre-existing non-conforming use accessory structure could be converted to an accessory dwelling unit. And we had it if it was by special permit. We cannot have it by special permit. It has to be by a favorable finding of the zoning board that the structure is not more detrimental than the existing. So the only thing that can be considered is whether or not the change is more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. The changes that we're discussing here, town council still stands on their original bylaw that they drafted for us 6 months ago. And they do feel that the changes the Attorney General's office is requiring us to make really are not required based upon the law. But this is not the hill we want to die on. This is not worth our time and the legal fees to fight. Because when push comes to shove, by making the changes, it's really not affecting the town. The zoning board of appeals, the building commissioner, it's verbiage for them. So even though our town council was like, what we drafted conforms with the regulations, he said it's not worth fighting. So we're making the changes that the Attorney General has asked for.
It's just words. It's really
Yeah.
just words.
Exactly.
Sorry, Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good question. So you said earlier that if this
doesn't get approved, the whole bylaw is out, because, so then why is it written as just an amendment, bylaws is most recently amended in
Because
the
we
article?
did pass a bylaw. So the town passed a bylaw, but the bylaw cannot go into effect without Attorney General approving. They have not thrown our old bylaw out. They have given us some of the portions they've approved and
Okay.
some of the portions they've disapproved. So now we have the opportunity to correct those portions that they've disapproved. But we did pass this.
Well, right, but what happens if the amendment fails, I mean, the article fails?
I don't know the exact process that the Attorney General, I don't know if they give us a third shot at the apple
I mean, it
or.
probably won't happen, but I'm just
I-
curious,
Yeah.
alright, cause you
These
said it was
changes-
inconsistent with something, at least the way I
Yeah,
received it.
these
So,
are
alright,
changes that the Attorney General's letter said. You
Yeah.
have to change single family home to principal residence. So we're not anticipating to having to take a third bite of the apple because we're doing what the Attorney General told town council we had to do. So, you know, and as I said, planning board has had no control over this, so we're just keeping our fingers crossed that the Attorney General doesn't say, oh yeah, and by the way, now we want to change.
Are you aware of any other towns that have gone through this process?
Multiple.
Okay.
Multiple that would actually that have our same town council and town council is, but other town councils as well. Where they've, and there has been the discussion that various town councils believe that the bylaws that they initially drafted were appropriate.
Yeah,
And I think most town councils are advising, again, it's not the hill to die on. You
right,
know, the MBTA multifamily zoning. That was a fight that some towns really wanted to take on.
Sure.
It was gonna completely change the whole structure, the whole characteristic of the town. This isn't. And it's just not worth the spending $20,000-$30,000 in legal fees or whatever it would be, 10,000, you know, I don't know. Those legal fees would fight.
I guess, I'm not trying to play Monday morning quarterback here, but would town council, if they went to the Attorney General and got the appropriate language in the first place, would we?
I can't speak.
That may be an option, okay, understood.
I don't. My understanding, and I am not a municipal attorney, so I don't know 100%, but my understanding is that the Attorney General's office doesn't. They will kind of talk you through it, but they won't give an opinion until it has
Yeah.
passed town meeting and it's there for their approval.
Yeah.
I know that tends to be true with a lot of other dealings with the Attorney General's office. They give you ballpark suggestions, guidance, but they won't make a definitive answer unless you have something that's already been approved.
So they waste our time.
Do you have any other, do you have a question? Do you have any other comments on the second and third? See primary structure, primary dwelling unit.
Yep, that's literally, that was the changing the word structure from dwelling unit.
Yeah,
And then on subsection E, it's
Yeah.
the same thing where we have, you can take a pre-existing non-conforming primary residence and have a, ADU. We had it as based upon our zoning bylaws that addresses not pre-existing non-conforming alterations. They said, no, it has to specifically say it can only go to the zoning board for a favorable finding. So they will, the big issue with this is the phrase special permit. They don't want anything that could ever be interpreted as the unit is, that it's discretionary.
questions?
So I'm sorry, so would you repeat, I know that they don't want special permit. What verbiage do they want?
Finding,
Finding.
yeah, so you'll see on, E. Where it says what we're changing it to, the modification shall require a favorable finding by the zoning board of appeals. And again, because a special permit is discretionary on, and it can list multiple issues. The finding can only address whether or not the altered use from whatever it originally was to now an ADU is not more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Which if you were, for example, if you had a barn,
Yep,
a small barn, usually it doesn't apply to a shed because a shed is not considered a structure because it usually doesn't have a foundation, but let's say it did. And you wanted to alter it into an accessory dwelling unit to have to go through the ZBA to get this approval, or you can knock the shed down and just build a ADU and not even have to go through that part.
go ahead, Eric.
Just a side question, do we know how many ADUs are in Millis, and are there any currently, planned?
We have one that, we have 3 in the pipeline at various stages. I think one is just about ready to begin construction, but I believe I know 2 for sure. I think there's a 3rd in the pipeline.
Go ahead, Joyce.
What happens, do we have any that are currently established in Millis, and what happens to those? Are they grandfathered?
Mhm.
And
Well,
do
we have in our old bylaws, we, instead of accessory dwelling unit, we had the accessory family units. The main difference between an accessory family unit and this accessory dwelling unit is the family unit, there were restrictions on the family ties to the residence of the primary resident and who could reside there. Whereas an accessory dwelling unit, you can have anyone, you can rent it to.
The ones that are in existence though, will they be reclassified as ADUs?
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing happened. Even if they weren't, at the time, they would be considered a pre-existing non-conforming, and as long as they maintain the use in which they received their original building permit, that use can continue.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Nicole, thank you very much for clarifying
You're
that.
welcome.
I know it's, will be revisited at town meeting, so, we just wanna make sure we understand it.
Well, whoever's running, if you have any questions before then, I can do my notes for it.
Perfect.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So neighbor.
Mr. Tree Warden.
Hmm.
How are you, Mr. Cantareggi?
Doing well, thank you.
He's, speaking to the mic, 4 inches from the mic. We had a lot of questions, at our last meeting regarding trees, and Jim McKay gave us, and town administrator gave us, kind of a sketch of needed tree elements out there, removal, dead trees, etc. Please share what it all means.
Well, since I'm here, do you know the role of the tree warden?
No,
Do you think folks at home know?
no, please tell us.
So the role of tree warden is established on Mass
You gotta
General.
get closer. You gotta hear your phone. Better. Good job. Go ahead.
Tree warden is required in every community, different qualifications, education is required. It's covered by Massachusetts General Law 87, and it gives, it's the control of trees in a public right of way. So people think get that confused a lot, so basically public right of way is the roadway system. I have no current control, no jurisdiction over parks, cemeteries, or anything else, even conservation land or anything like that. Although in my role here in town through the years, I've been tree warden for 23 years. I do go and meet a lot of residents to give them advice on trees, and rules controlling them. So, so for a tree any tree can be, or removed. Anything, actually the laws are in anything over 2 inches. You have to have permission by the tree. And it can either be emergency, or if someone wants a tree down, we go shade tree hearing. And which has to be advertised, show up, question it. It should be taken down. But if it's determined by me that it can be taken down, it can be. If I say no, it can't be. Also, a lot of folks don't know, you can't plant a tree in a public right of way, without the permission of the tree warden also, because if you think about it, what we're gonna talk about tonight, the expense and burden of maintaining these trees. So, that's kind of like an overview of, my responsibilities.
Appreciate it. So where are we now in terms of the need for tree removal, tree pruning, et cetera? Cause I know, sorry to interrupt, correct me if I'm wrong, this hasn't been done for quite a few years now? Like every few years, there's tree removal?
So there's always an operating budget.
Yeah.
It's in, and actually, I mean, to your point, I don't take the trees down, I just give the permission to. And it's also, whether the town's taking down all the pruning with National Grid or NSTAR or Verizon when they work in town, they have to go through me and I have to provide everything, what they're gonna do, the tree clearing type thing. Oh, speaking of that, I get calls all the time, people say, oh, there's got branch in the wires, it's a problem. Not my concern, it shouldn't be your concern either, because the utilities are private and we would never use public funds to maintain a private entity. So they could be dead branch hanging on utility wire, it's really not our
So
responsibility.
a resident should contact
Contact,
their energy company.
And I will say the energy companies, over the last, pretty much since 2014, when we had a lot of problems, they've been much more responsive, taking the right back to the state on the line clearing. They've been very good. They've done a lot of pruning in town for us, and I have a pretty good relationship with them. They come in. You know, there might be some extra stuff that's maybe not, you know, the wire issue, but they're in the tree already, so they'll clean it up for him. So we have a pretty good relationship with them, but just give them a little while. But, yeah, so I'm not sure what the budget is at different times. A number of years ago, I came in, 5 years ago. We were kind of at the, epicenter here, Franklin, Medway, Norfolk, of a lot of tree problems, particularly, remember the large oaks we all had to take down, that was
Yeah.
a drought. There's also gypsy moth infestation, then we've been dealing with the Asian longhorn beetle, and then also the ash borer, which is taken out. The spotted lanternfly is coming, that's another exciting one, it's gonna take out all the maples and everything else. So, there's always an ongoing issue. But, so I'm not sure what the budget is. During that time, the town was pretty good and they gave us a substantial amount of money, because we had to use a lot of removals. And so as time goes by, I know Jim does have a certain budget that he has,
Yeah,
but as time goes by, I mean, obviously, tree work is very, very expensive
yeah.
nowadays. So I don't know what the budget is, but this has come up because like in the last, I'd say 6 to 8 months, there's been a lot of calls for trees. And I've made a lot of visits, out to folks that, either need to be removed or.
And just normal tree life, dead trees, falling limbs.
Yes,
Okay. Versus a storm or
yeah,
hurricane.
no storm stuff, and there really isn't, I mean, we're still dealing like, I said, the ash, or, you know.
Yeah,
But, nothing like it was bad before, specifically, there, but we have a lot of things up there, chips, you know.
go ahead, Joyce.
Refresh my memory, was there a year that you weren't given the money, that the funds weren't allotted to?
There's
Within the
been
last,
years I've come in, I've asked for additional funding, and
it just wasn't available, okay, okay, thank you, that was
And just to, thank you, Joyce. So based on what DPW says, bringing in the tree experts, they'll try to bring them in for a day or days based on the amount of trees that are needed and lined up. So it's sufficient, right?
Yeah, and I usually, I work with Jim a lot with the thing, and I don't know who has the bid right now, I think it's Stumpy's, but I'm not sure when that expires. But we talked about the trees beforehand, and, I'm a strong believer in actually, some of the residents don't like it, but I'm a big pruning guy, like I'll prune a tree back and, you know, you could get rid of half a tree in another 20 years. So, I like the pruning, so it's just takedowns.
Gotcha.
But sometimes if I look at a tree, it might be more cost effective to take the tree down. So, and then when you get into larger trees, obviously, it could be a crane issue, then you got police details and everything else.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Pete.
Chair. Curtis, thanks for coming. Is there a list or a plan of the trees that you keep based on calls, or is it just squeaky wheel gets the oil, or how do you prioritize the requirements?
What I do is, it's pretty basic. If I get a call about a tree, I try to go, you know, meet with the resident. No, but by the way, this is a volunteer position by me, so I'll put out there, like, some residents, like, you said you're gonna come, get over here, I'm like, well, I don't work for the town, I mean, you know, kind of my schedule, and I asked them if it's an emergency. Cause sometimes the tree will crack during a storm, and they feel it's imminent, so I will go over it, you know, as quick as I can, other times it's like, nah, I don't like it, it's blocking my view. Coming out driveway, you know, and I'll get over there when I can. So, but with that said, I go over and I'll assess the tree and depending on what I think needs to be done, either removal, prune, and I notify Jim that way, you know, I document everything through the email, basically saying, and typically it's, a tree that needs to be, like, I'll say it's dead wooded, get the dead wood out of the, you know, the canopy, or maybe, you know, needs to be pruned back, take some weight off one side, something like that. And I say put on pruning list, and I'll say specifically, you know, non-emergency, when you can get to it. Other times I'll say, you know, this is more of a priority, or I'll say it's imminent, we should get someone there. So that's kind of how we do it.
Thank you.
Any other tree questions?
Just one question
Yeah.
to clarify. Did you say the DPW has a small budget and this would be in addition to the budget that?
I can answer, Joyce, I got my budget over Frank, I know my budget, I have no idea what the budget is here.
No,
I
no,
don't-
I'm not asking what, I'm
I don't
asking.
know if it's a special allocation
Oh,
that
okay.
that he's asking for, he's just asking for more operation. I mean,
Yeah, to my knowledge, I don't know if we've gotten to that point yet in terms of.
John, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair,
go ahead,
if I
Jody.
may, just as you guys were speaking, just wanted to share that the budget for tree care, trimming, removal is about $25,000 a fiscal year. So that doesn't go a long way, but that historically has been what's been budgeted. In addition to that, we have a special article that has been funded in years past with anywhere from additional $25,000 to $50,000. Again, I can give you the historical data on that, but the last time we did that was in 2023. So I do know that that will be an article requested for funding this year. So just wanted to answer those questions.
So this is an addition. to
Yeah,
this.
and do we have a scope of the number, Jody, in terms of what we're looking at this year?
Are you talking about for free cash?
No, for the tree request or the tree removal.
No, this is actually a discussion that we'll have, when we have broader budget discussions, but I do know that this is a need, and it's, as we get into the agenda a bit more, we'll talk about that as a special article, that will be proposed for funding come fall town meeting.
Gotcha.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
give you it says $25,000. I mean, a three-man tree crew.
Yeah.
About $4,000 a day
Yeah,
to come in, and when you have to bring a crane in, that could be $8,000 to $12,000 a day, so you go with that money pretty fast.
no, understood. I'm going by memory. I'm not gonna throw out a number, but I think the number is much bigger than
Oh,
what's allotted for.
no, I know. I was just asking if this is an addition to whatever budget Jim may have. That was my question. This money is an
True.
addition to whatever Jim has, and currently it's approximately 25,000 that he has. It would be 50, 75, 100,000,
Correct.
whatever is
Yeah,
decided.
the original budget amount year over year over the past several years has started with $25,000 in that line item. Like I said, we have passed other special articles in addition to that amount of money, but the last time we funded those articles was in 2023 for this specific purpose.
That makes sense.
Yep. Okay, any other final comments? We're good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Carrigan, for coming in.
Can I ask for a stipend?
You can ask. You can ask anything.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
And, if anybody does have any tree questions, I can go through the, selectman's office and they, get an email to me. I'll get.
Is there is there a tree page on the website?
You know, there was they.
Or just go through
They put
DPW?
an- They put an email thing out, but I wasn't getting them, I don't know why, so. They
Okay.
emailed for Karen at the office, and they emailed me, and I'll get back to the phone.
Hmm, okay. All right, best thing to do is send an email in through the website, but there might not be a tree page necessarily. I'm just looking real quick.
And don't forget to hug your favorite tree every day. Okay,
Thank you for that words of wisdom.
have a good night.
All right. Jody, so good to see you. Thank you for helping out tonight.
Absolutely. I apologize for not being there in person, but just got home a little bit ago, so otherwise I would have stayed to see everybody.
Not a problem at all. So why don't, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah.
Why don't we go through the draft, the warrant draft?
Absolutely.
And then we can work on our assignments, by ourselves, so we don't have to keep you for the entire meeting, but, that'd be great.
Sure.
So we'll, please take lead.
Great. So in your packet, you do see the draft fall town meeting articles in the warrant. There are currently 16 that have been identified. We'll start with the first one, which is a pretty routine article. This is not populated yet with data, but these are bills of a prior year. So these are bills that we were liable to pay in the previous fiscal year, but for one reason or another didn't get invoiced. Or what have you, and these bills are paid with either encumbered funds. But those amounts we'll know for sure by the end of the week. We did put a note out to all department heads that they need to get their last and final numbers to us so that we can roll it up here.
Okay.
Any questions on Article 1?
And
And the
just
source-
to bring you up to speed, sorry to cut you off, we went through this last week as well with Mike.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, so unpaid bills.
You got a good
Or
tempo
unpaid
going.
bills. Yep.
We'll pause where we need to.
Perfect. Okay. So Article 2, we are looking at supplemental budget numbers to add to our operating fund, our operation. And essentially what this is the rest of the HCA funds. So you'll see the admin, police, and school. Those are the actual figures for portions of those resources that were voted on in the spring. And we just divided that financial liability partially to the spring, partially to this fall. The other note that you'll see here is that the Tri-County debt that was intended to be used, free cash was intended to be used to supplement that portion of the budget. That really should have been on Article 3 of the Springtown meeting, but it was inadvertently left off, so it's here now. There's no net effect. The cash was already put aside. It's just really a fundamental vote that will allow us to record keep that properly.
Or specifically Tri-County?
Correct. Correct.
And while we're on that topic, can you give us a free cash update since we're talking about this?
So no, I can't, not quite yet. We actually are waiting upon the DOR for our balance sheet submission, which was due yesterday. So we are in the pipeline for that review. As soon as I have additional information from them to share, I will. We have some basic calculations, but unfortunately, until we understand what capital projects are going to be sort of held against us, and I say that in a very loose way, it's just we've gotten reimbursements for those, but we've expended funds, but we need to get the reimbursements in. So essentially what the state does is they will withhold that portion from your free cash. So there's still a little fleshing out we need to do there.
And usually what's the turnaround time once you submit your
They
information?
they will commit to getting it to us before our town meeting. That's one of the requirements to put in before you submit your date. So I'm hoping in a couple of weeks, but
Okay,
I'll get updates and share them as quickly as I can.
thank you.
Sure. Okay, Article 3, if there are no other questions, this is another article that's been identified to release the care, custody, and control to the select board to be able to dispose of this particular property. Details can be found on the assessor's website if you're interested in getting some more detail there. Article 4 is investment in roads and sidewalks, construction repair, typical article, again, amount TBD. Article 5 follows.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
Article 4.
Yep.
When might we have a better sense of that dollar figure?
As soon as I know how much free cash we can distribute, then these are the
Gotcha.
articles that they're gonna hit.
with
It
you.
could be anywhere from, 100,000 to 500,000. We just need to know where that number comes back, and obviously we'll take our free cash and distribute it as best we can across the articles that are represented here.
Gotcha. Okay,
Questions on that? All
I
right.
think so.
Okay, so Article 5 is, again, just on the heels of what we were just talking about. This is for some additional funds to be set aside for this said purpose, tree pruning and removal.
Yeah, we just had the tree warden here, so I think we're up to date on that.
Article 6, the school building project. This is just, we're waiting on language from the MSBA for this particular article. So that's more to come on that one. Article 7, this is the capital requests that were reviewed by the capital planning committee. This is currently what the committee has put forward. So Article 7, all be funded through free cash and retained earnings. Article 8, this is for a public portion of the Glen area where there were golf course ways, if you will, and this 20,000 is coming from CPC open space, so that's the community preservation, to be able to make these walkways ADA accessible. So that's for 20,000.
Any questions? I think we're good. Oh, go ahead, Pete.
I have a quick question. I understand universally accessible, it's actually, well, maybe I don't, that's where my question is. Does that mean that the existing trails will be ADA accessible? Or does it mean that these trails are accessible to the greater public? Or both?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to. But that's a great question. I will note that and see if we can get an answer for you.
We
may want to send it over to the community preservation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, no, good question.
I do know that it's open to the public to use. That portion, I do know of your question. Anyone can go over there and walk it.
Okay. We can circle back on that for sure.
Yeah. I'm writing that down as well.
All right, Article 9, we talked about this a little bit on Monday night at the select board meeting, but essentially there's a general bylaw that is sitting on the books today that talks about contracting authority. The dollar amounts are pretty outdated. The last time this bylaw was updated was about, I think it was 2014. But essentially cost of goods and services has gone up quite a bit. And also the procurement thresholds as part of Chapter 30B, Chapter 139, 7M, so on and so forth. These new recommended thresholds fall directly in line with mass procurement laws. So 10,000 or under really become sound business practices to the awarding authority. So that would really apply to department heads. Again, just raising it from 3,000 to 10,000. And then you can kind of see the notations for, B and C thereafter. So again, it's really to adjust for the cost of goods and services going up, but also to be in line with 30B and the other procurement laws.
And this might be a good question for Mike, but you as well. Is it usually a 10-year window when these numbers get updated, or is it?
To be honest with you, it's really dependent upon the local bylaw. I mean, you could review it every few years. We basically are looking at Mass General Law and what that just got updated last year to actually allow for written procedures for a new threshold, essentially. So from $10,000 to $50,000, under $10,000, and then from 10 to 50 for municipal, and then from 10 to 100 actually for the school. So again, we're just trying to fall in line with the recent legislative changes as well. So it's really kind of twofold.
Yeah. Okay.
The only other thing that I want to mention about this that I had forgotten to is that this also will create some efficiencies on our side from an operational standpoint. Running around to get signatures from our town administrator for things that are a little bit less bulky, so to speak, that need that kind of review. This also allows us to streamline our operation from just a sheer management standpoint and workflow.
Makes sense.
Go ahead, if I may.
Yeah.
I just have to ask the question, and I feel like I know the answer, but I think it's smart for the committee to ask the question and hear the answer. Has the town had any issues with procurement of anything that would present a risk?
No, and this, just to be super clear, this is not in reaction or response to any issues. This is merely operational and pulling in line with current Mass General laws.
Yeah, it's just the opposite, actually. It tells you that we haven't had any issues and we're raising authority limits. And that would not be prudent had we had a track record of, or anomalies of,
Correct.
you know, impropriety or mistakes. So.
Right.
Okay, thank
But
you.
we're also raising the limits because of general inflation going up over 10 years, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
All good.
Okay, so Article 10, my understanding is this is being put forth, so that our policies and procedures comply with the state minimum requirements on these types of fines and disturbances. So again, this is strictly in response to bringing our bylaws in compliance with the state minimums.
Yeah, and I believe Aaron's coming in here in the next meeting or two to talk more about this.
Great. Okay. Article 11, I know that we are waiting on some language for that. My understanding is that Mike Crone was championing this with Mr. Gazinski, so they will have that language by Monday.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. Article 12 has to do with, again, our zoning laws as well as the FEMA flood map sort of not both aligning the way that they should have. So there's a new map to be able to bring that back into compliance. I don't have the map. I haven't seen it yet, but there is a placeholder for that when it's available.
Sounds good.
Okay, Article 13, I think we just talked about that a bit.
Correct, we did. Unless you have anything new to shine
I
on
don't,
that.
nope, I don't have anything. It is, my notes were just about the AG's office.
Yeah.
Wanting us to make it a bit less restrictive.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so Article 14, jumping down there, we have a state required cyclical inspection, recertification, evaluation for the town that happens every 5 years. Ours is scheduled to happen in FY27 and FY28. There are some things that need to be done now in order to secure that time frame. And one of those things is to contract with our company that is going to be doing this for us. The invoice is $59,000, so we were going to set aside the funds now in that article for us to be able to complete that evaluation or valuation rather in a timely manner.
I'm not aware of this. So what falls under the valuation and recertification process?
So all of the values of homes and property in the town of Millis are
Gotcha.
part of this state required cyclical inspection. So they'll go out and do inspections and re-inspections to ensure that we are up to date on our overall town's valuation, which again, which leads down to that's the key component in determining, our tax rate and some
Correct.
of our financials.
Makes sense. I don't have any questions on that. Oh, okay, thank you.
Article 15 is to fund an actuarial study of our OPEB trust fund account. This happens periodically every couple of years, and it's really to get demographic data as well as basically our member data accurate so that we know what our OPEB liability, our funding liability is. So that really plays into, again, making sure that our data is up to date so that we have a good handle on our OPEB trust fund and what we need to do to fund that.
And we got a question from Pete here, and then I got a couple. Yeah.
Thank you. Jody, do you know, does that team consultants or actuaries, do they make recommendations when they're complete? And do you know if they did, have we completed or taken any action on the last time there were
So-
recommendations?
Yeah, so it's not so much a consultant that would come in and say, hey, let's take a look at this, kind of like an audit would be. It's there really are no findings, if you will, but there's more findings of maybe inaccurate data, or we're missing date of births for spouses that are receiving benefits, or so it's really more of a double check to make sure that our data is fresh and accurate. And if there are holes, then we'll work with the consultants to be able to bridge those gaps.
Thank you.
And my questions are, does Odyssey Advisors do that, or is that someone else that does that?
That's
work?
correct. Yes. Odyssey Advisors. Yes.
And then how often do they do the actuarial studies?
Usually every 2 years.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. The last time we funded this was in 23. The same
gotcha,
time of year, fall town meeting. Yep.
yeah.
And I think it was 7,800 or 7,300 back then. So
Just a quick, just for the people who are listening, would you mind saying what OPEB means? So that they.
sure. We have a trust fund. It stands
No,
for
no.
other post-employment benefits. So these are part of our benefits for our retirees. And there's a trust fund that is managed on our behalf that we are required to fund, which is a whole nother conversation. But for now, we're just going to talk about the record keeping part of it. And this 2-year process allows us to do that. So we typically don't budget for it because, again, it's an every other year kind of thing. So we usually have funded through an article when the time is appropriate.
We do this every year as far as the funding. That would be
2 years.
Article 16.
Every 2 years.
No, this, what you're talking about, 15 is done every 2 years so that we can do 16 every year. Article 16, we have.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're similar but different. Yes. Yep.
Go ahead, B.
Follow up, Jody, if I can. Why
Sure.
the eightfold, I struck that. I apologize. Nope. Okay, I was looking at the amount in 14 and I nearly fell out of my chair. And I realized it only went up $300. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I would have fallen out too. Okay,
Sorry.
so
No, good.
if there's no more questions there, Article 16, as Joyce was referencing, this is the actual trust account. So we do have an outstanding liability to fund this, and it's one of those things that it's not just a Millis issue. We have a big unfunded liability here, but this is not unique to the town of Millis. We are
Nor other
trying
towns
to,
too, right?
what's that?
Right.
Nor other towns. This is
Yeah, this is
quest
a
in every
Commonwealth.
town trying
Yeah,
to
this is a
close the
statewide.
gap.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we try to do is make a steady contribution to this fund year over year, so that we can show that we are actively contributing towards, mitigating that liability. This also is important because of our bond rating. So our business partners look at this as obviously an unfunded liability on the books. So if we're making steps and taking strides to fund this, it's favorable.
Makes sense. Go ahead, Eric.
What's the size of the unfunded liability?
It's in the millions. I don't have exactly right now because I'm still waiting on our FY24 audit. But we can look on our balance sheet even last year. You can go on our financials and look at our last year's audit. And you can see that as an unfunded liability on our balance sheet. But I don't have that information in front of me. I'm sorry.
No worries. Good question. We'll get the answers. Okay.
And then article, we're done.
I think that's it. As of now, and the warrant's closed as of now, so
Yep,
that's what we're looking at for the warrant.
that's what we're looking at.
Okay. Any other final thoughts on your
I
end?
don't think so.
Okay, Well, I
Just-
appreciate you,
yeah.
taking the time out tonight.
Oh, of course. And just,
And
just, as a follow-up, John, are we, the question about the, accessibility of those Glen trails, are you taking that back to the CPC?
Yes,
Find an
I
answer, okay.
can, yeah, I'll funnel that through Mike.
Okay,
We had a
Okay.
few questions last week, just talking broadly right now. And we had a lot of questions, tree warden came in, fire chief came in, we got some more information on Article 6, so ADUs, so we are making progress, but I have those highlighted here and
Sure.
we'll get those over to Mike tomorrow morning.
right, and just like I said, if anything else comes up that anyone has questions on, feel free to reach out. I did speak with Deirdre today as well, and just committed to her that as soon as I have information about free cash, I'll share it back with this committee, and I'll also provide that packet that you've seen in the past, just to kind of give you the breakdown of how that number came to be. And if there's anything else of interest from the committee, just pass it through the chair, let me know, and I'll be happy to provide whatever you might like.
Okay, on a lighter note, we do have a new member here. I don't know if you've met Mark Johnson yet.
I have not. I was like, I
Can you
have
see
not
it
met
from your
Mark
end?
yet.
Can you, from the Zoom, can you see our table?
I
Can you
can.
see? Okay. So I'll do a nice introduction to both of you. So, as we break up for our articles going forward, you can provide information to them.
Perfect.
One question.
Go ahead, Joyce. One final question.
Article 3, though, the authorization of the parcel, 33013. Is this because it was omitted in the last bundle that we presented? Or is this a new parcel or was it
That's a
omitted?
great question, Joyce. I'm not sure if it's net new or if they just have someone that's interested in it. I'll have to circle back with the,
Yeah,
I'm going off last week's meeting. I think they forgot to list it. So I think it's
Okay.
being added to the
it
list.
just
I don't
needs
think
to
it's,
be added.
yeah, it needs to be
Okay.
added. It's not in the
There you go.
process. You're
Right.
really correct.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I recalled, so that's why I'm
Okay.
just verifying, because it implies that it's an.
Yeah.
right.
All right,
Great.
Jody, thank you very much. Have a great
course.
night and we'll be talking soon.
All right, sounds great. Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, take care, bye. Thank guys. All right, so following the agenda here, we want to go through the article assignments?
Sounds good.
Any?
Red Sox 3, Yankees 3.
Any?
Doesn't matter.
I
Six, I
think that's
End
article
of six.
17 right there.
End of 6.
End of 6, all right. We're doing well.
And Mr. Chair, when
Go ahead,
I
Brett.
go through this, if you could just also frame what it means to own warrant
Yes,
article,
thank
that'd
you.
be great.
Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes I assume everyone knows, but we have a lot of new people here, and Heidi, who's not here, and Mike, who's not here, we'll be assigning them articles tonight too. So
Yeah.
many articles,
The hard ones.
probably 8 each. So what happens now is there are 16 articles in the warrant, and then we essentially divide them up between the members, so it's evenly split. You know, whether it's 1, 2, 3, depending on the number of articles. Sometimes in past years, past town meetings, we've had up to 3 a person, maybe depending on what the warrant is. This is relatively pretty light. Again, generally speaking, the more seasoned members will take some of the heavier articles, just so the 3 of you can get your feet wet and understand the process of how it all works. So what we'll do is, you know, I don't assign them, it's more of a discussion. And over the next 4 weeks or so, you can work with the departments, whatever article that is, and start gathering your data. I recommend reaching out to myself, reaching out to any members here who can, you know, be a sounding board or eyes and ears to help you guys out. Not a problem at all. So as we get closer to town meeting, we'll be walking through the process of what that looks like. And during final recommendations, we'll go through a meeting like this and do final recommendations, and then we'll do a pre-town meeting, and then we'll have the town meeting.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Pete.
May I please pile on real quick?
Please do.
Another great source of information is the Finance Committee website and the meeting materials. So almost all of these articles are, you know, not really first time, especially for the newer ones. we always have an OPEB, we always have a budget adjustment.
Yeah.
So there are certain deliverables that John will go through, really, there's two of them. Those have already been written for some like OPEB, something basic, you really just need to print it out, tailor it to the date. You know, the town meeting, the dollar figure, the funding source, very, very simple. It's light work.
Agreed.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to soon leave.
Okay,
So I'm happy, if you can let me know if these are okay after.
yeah,
I
go ahead.
leave.
We'll,
But I'm happy to do,
Edit later.
Article 3, 5, 10, and 12.
why
Three.
don't we give you 3?
5, 10, and 12. Those, I mean, I'm being.
Yeah, why don't you, is 3 and 5 okay?
Yeah,
All right. And if we need to adjust, we can adjust later.
yeah,
But-
and the, dog officer, that would be 10, I'm fine with that. If.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
happy to do that.
Okay,
Or
maybe-
10, 12, either 10 or 12, but I'd say
Yep.
10.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Okay,
I
all right.
apologize to have to.
Not a
leave.
problem. Thank you for voicing your article interest.
You-
Okay, so with that said,
Sorry,
that's okay, go ahead.
sarcastic.
I will, let's knock off a few of these. I'm gonna take number 6 as it says there, the building project. Eric, since you are the liaison to capital planning, you'll be taking Article 7. Mark or Brett, do you have any preference? I would suggest some of like Article 1 or 2.
I'm happy
15,
to
16.
Yeah, no preference, so.
Okay,
I'm good with whatever.
okay. Jen, do you have any?
No preference.
No preference at all. Okay, so why don't we do this then? Actually, I'm gonna bounce, sorry, hang on a second here. Brett, why don't I give you, the first one?
Mhm.
And then I'll give you number 10, the animal violation one. And then Mark, why don't I give you number, 2?
Sure.
And then why don't I give you, what do you, yeah, go ahead, Pete.
I would just, I'll play devil's advocate.
Yep.
And offer to take number 1. It is very simple, but just to get us out of the gate and set during town meeting. They all follow the same pattern. It's.
Yeah, sorry, that's
it's a
good point.
motion, a second, a discussion, a vote.
Yeah,
And so just to get us out of the gate, I'd offer to do that one. I'd love to do number
Yeah.
4 and anything else.
Okay.
Or nothing, whatever you want.
perfect.
But,
So actually, Brett, Pete makes a good point. I'm actually, let me put you down to the 2 ones at the end.
And eliminate the not animal fines.
No, Eric, you wanna do that one? Or do you have a preference besides animal? We can do anything else.
Why don't I take 8?
What is some information?
Oh, thanks. Number 8?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm happy to do any of them.
yeah. Okay, Jen, whatever. You can pick and choose. We have Mike and Heidi, so. I know you don't. I don't know if you, okay, do you wanna do, how about 14, the recertification process? All right. Any other, it's running out here. Do you wanna do? FEMA? Sure. All right. We'll give Mike, leaf, ooh. You think Mike can do leaf blower, or do you think that's from them? All right.
I have low confidence.
Okay. Or is it conflict of interest?
Depends on how we.
So actually, let me do, let's throw Heidi in here. We'll do Heidi for leaf. And, we'll do Heidi for ADU. What does that leave us with?
Was 4 assigned?
Say it again?
Was 4 assigned? here?
Pete, was gonna take that.
Okay.
So Pete's number 1, number 4. So we got Pete for number 1, Mark for number 2. You need another one, Mark, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you take number 6 right now? I'm definitely gonna modify this later.
Hold on, you
You
didn't.
want me to take the high school building?
Oh,
You didn't mean to.
High school bill?
mean nine?
I meant 9.
I'm happy to
I
take
meant
it on.
9, sorry. I meant to, I wrote it down. You gotta step up, Mark, come
Yeah,
on. All right, so number 1 is Pete, number 2 is Mark, 3 is Joyce, 4 is Pete, 5 is Joyce, John is 6, Eric is 7, Eric is 8, Mark is 9. Brett, I'm gonna take you off of
Right.
animal. Why don't I make, Mike that? Then we have Heidi 11, Jen 12, Heidi 13, Jen 14, Brett 15, and 16.
With Jen or Joyce on 12?
On 12, I have Jen. Yeah,
Who do you have for 13?
Heidi.
Okay.
I'll read, yeah, I think
Well,
we're
as long
good.
as excuse me, as long as you and Deidre have it, it's good.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
I think that's pretty even, Steven, too. Okay. All right, thank you. Meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to read through last week's meeting minutes?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I move that the committee vote to approve the meeting minutes for the September 24th Finance Committee meeting, as written.
Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion and properly seconded to approve the Finance Committee meeting minutes from September 24th, 2025 as written. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is there anyone that's not here? Mike's not here. I think we're good. And there's no no's or abstentions. Okay. I was just looking to see who's on the list here tonight.
Is Deirdre on?
Deirdre, are you on?
I am indeed. The article assignments are always very, you guys keep changing them. But I
I
think
know,
I
well,
got
I
it.
have it written down as well. I can send it over to you
It's
tonight.
okay. It's okay. I have it written down. It's all good.
Okay,
The only reason I'm asking is Deidre, is that Joyce has left, and so she didn't vote when you're tallying the votes for the meeting minutes.
oh, thank you. So we have 1, 2,
Right,
3,
so I
4,
can.
5. Well, we have a quorum though. Eric, Brett, Jen, Pete, and
Mark,
myself.
yeah, so it's 1,
No, you can't vote though.
That was
2, 3,
You weren't at the meeting to
4,
approve these.
5. So it's 5.
I was.
Yes, you were here. No, you were not on
I
picture.
understand, abstain.
Abstain. Mark Johnson abstains. For record.
Right.
Are we good, Deidre?
I got it.
Okay. Thank you. What we got here? Old business, new business. I will send you, Mark, updated, glossaries, meeting procedure, FinCom procedures, things like that, so you can get up to speed. Tons of stuff on the website, though. So I'll send you a follow-up email on all that. We'll get you going. Any other old new, liaison updates? Eric, go ahead.
I can give a quick capital planning committee update.
Sure.
So we met yesterday with the school building committee. Basically to go over that project. So at this point, if memory serves, we've met with everybody for the capital requests. And we scored them, and we're currently in the process of putting together the budget, the capital planning.
Okay.
Board. That's the word I'm looking for. So I need to check my calendar, but I think the CPC will present that not in our next meeting, but the one after.
Correct, I think I have it in here.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Eric, did the capital planning committee take its votes to recommend, and are they taking a position on the school project?
We it's pretty much unanimously supported. What we've done so far is we've ranked everything, so given everything, it's,
Score for the main.
triage these things into their scores, and we need to check what it is, but it was scored very highly. So, I believe we've taken a yes, no vote.
And as we all may know, do you want to crack at it, what the purpose of the capital planning committee does and the purpose of it?
Yeah, I can give it a shot, but I'd encourage anyone to jump in and correct me where I go wrong.
I'll do that.
So the purpose of the capital planning committee is to look at any capital requests, so any requests that are over a certain dollar amount. Which I believe right now is 10,000, although it's being revised up to 25,000. And basically anything that constitutes an asset. So we would look at a operational expense, for instance, it would be a capital expense. And what the capital planning committee does is looks at each of those and then analyzes them across a variety of metrics, like, is this a health and safety issue? Is this something that needs to be done to provide critical town services? And based on all those criteria, we come up with scores. You know, something might be a 17 and something might be a 200. It could be a very wide range.
Talk to them.
You guys got this. Forget you. So then, so what happens is all these capital requests are in a spreadsheet and they get a score and then they get ranked by that score. And they get roughly grouped into like important, medium, and fairly unimportant requests. So that information goes to us, to the finance committee, it goes to the select board. To really provide the information about what we should and should not fund.
So I'll just jump in. Awesome job. So what the capital planning committee does is they rank from a high, middle to low priority. And then suggest, or not suggest, but show select board what's on that list. And it's not necessarily by a dollar value. And then it's the select board's decision to approve or disapprove or keep or not keep whatever the capital planning items are. So the capital planning committee advises the select board. They're not making the final decision. That's my big point though, yeah.
The one thing I'm not sure about.
Yep.
Is, yeah, I guess it's, you know, with the cap, so that goes to the select board and they decide what we do and do not fund. I guess it's based upon how much is left.
There's a variety of factors, but yeah, it all comes down to dollars and what's needed most and discussion amongst the three of them to determine what, usually the capital requests, you know, in general, most are approved, but sometimes one or two might not be approved for whatever reason.
Right.
And that's the process they go through.
It's like the skid steer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
There's always the request for that.
May-
It never
may I-
goes
Go
through.
ahead, Pete.
I'm
Pete wants to add
I'm
in.
just gonna add a little bit more context. You know, I was on the committee years ago before John and glad that he took it over off of my hands. And anyway, the capital planning committee is kind of funding source agnostic is the term that has been used through the years. And there are many, many, many more projects on the spreadsheet. There's probably $50 million worth of projects on that list, and they really just go through as time goes by. Some of those needs bubble to the top. Some of them are programmed or projected, you know, whether it be like vehicles. Hey, we need to replace this vehicle in 7 years, 10 years. Well, if it's dead, you know, it rises up to schedule. So there's a schedule as well. And just to wrap it up is that the recommendations, the scoring criteria is on like life, health, safety, benefits to the town, safety of the employees. Does it save operating cost? If something is old and dilapidated and costs a lot of money to maintain, perhaps it's time for something new. So there's a number of different factors, probably I think like 10 of them, and that's where the scores come from. And then it's up to the select board to decide what they want. The select board, they have the sole authority to put things on the warrant, you know, this particular article. And it's only our job is only to recommend to the voters whether we agree with that or not. Sometimes there's dialogue, you know, hey, we think you need to, very rarely, but sometimes there's dialogue that says we think you ought to put more towards roads or more less towards this or not at all. You know, that can happen prior to the actual town meeting. Especially if we're given enough time to discuss it, debate it, and signal to them. That happened years ago with, say, the senior center construction. There was another project before that where we had dialogue and there's some adjustment. But again, the sole discretion or authority to put stuff on the warrant is theirs. And we have the sole, I guess, formal obligation to recommend
Mhm.
the article as it's presented in the warrant. And then that's it. And then the last thing is, is it's up to the voters. It's just a little bit of a nuance. It's the voters that decide at town meeting whether the funds get spent or not. The select board, they don't have that authority. It's the voters. And people like to say, well, they like to pin everything that's, you know, blame the select board or blame committees, you know, that why the town budget is the way it is or why our taxes are the way it is. The voters are the ones that decide.
True statement. Yep, all good points. But right, you had a
Yeah,
question?
you touched upon this a little bit, Pete, but I'm wondering if there is a feedback loop with respect to a request coming in. We assess a score, and if something receives a lower score. I mean, when I look at the scoring rubric, a lot of it is quite objective. Yes, objective, and which is good, it's positive. And I'm wondering then if there's dialogue to engage, hey, we put this in, we really want this. Yeah, what that looks like.
Yeah, there certainly is. All the capital requests are made by department heads. And they all come before the capital planning committee to discuss it, to basically say what the justification is and why they need it and why it's important. And that goes into the score. And, we certainly can solicit questions, and if something doesn't make it through 1 year or, through one town meeting, it can be brought up again. And, so for sure. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Any other final thoughts on capital planning?
No, that's it.
Okay, Joyce left behind a couple notes here for COA, Council on Aging. They're making improvements to the hallway, rug replacement over the next few days, and painting over the next month or so. Emery and Bob Weiss met with select board on Monday, talking about transportation issues. I don't know what those issues are, but they're discussing them. They are now researching options to augment our current offerings. Any questions? Emery and Bob Weiss are always here, the town hall. That should do it. Any other thoughts? Any other agenda items? Anyone want to make a motion? Next meeting? Next meeting is next week. The 8th.
Do you know who's on the docket?
Yes, school building committee. Thank you. That's a good reminder. So, Rich Nichols, is unavailable that night. So Diane Germain's coming in to speak. Craig Schultz will also be here, to help out. If you haven't taken a look at the school building project website, please do. It's awesome. There's a ton of information, and I'm going through my notes and my due diligence in terms of questions and answers and understanding it all, and it does a great job. So I highly recommend that. I also recommend if you do have any specific questions regarding that, please email me those questions so I can get them over to Diane ahead of time. And if there's anything very difficult, which I don't anticipate, but if there's tough questions, she wants to make sure she can do her homework as well. So, and I'll send you guys a reminder just to do that. But and I have to ask Deidre, but so she's coming. There might be a few others, but that's the main guest. Yeah.
So it's Erin Millette, the animal
Yes.
control officer, Nate Maltinsky for community preservation.
That's your
And
answer on the sidewalks. You can ask next week. Yeah, keep going, Deidre. Thank you.
And then the school, I do have a preliminary agenda already up on the website for next week's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be a full agenda.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the school building will be the bulk of the discussion next week.
Right, and then, Jody Kersey said she should have free cash.
She'll have that
Probably
in the
by
1 to 2
October
weeks.
15th.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks out.
Yeah, so that's about right.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
My understanding, watching the select board meeting from this week, is that we're right on the cusp of getting some information from the MSBA.
Correct.
Is there a possibility? I don't wanna.
Yeah.
That we'll have it by next Thursday.
There's a possibility.
I guess what
I don't-
I guess what I'm saying is, just.
We're-
The amount of time we spend.
we're all-
that
yeah.
seems to be the one thing we're all waiting for, so
Yeah.
I'm just.
You,
stating the obvious.
we in the town, we're all waiting for it.
Understood.
Yeah, trust me, as soon as that comes out, everyone's gonna digest, eat it up and talk about it.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Move to adjourn?
Second.
motion to adjourn and properly second. All those in favor, please say aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, Deidre.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Too.
3-3 bottom of the